Good morning, students. This is Anil Kumar Reddy. In this video, we are going to discuss the remaining topics, that is, the real part of network analysis. In this video, I am going to explain you about Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's voltage law, and Kirchhoff's current law. Okay, so also I will explain how to do mesh analysis in detail. Okay, now let's get started. Now, first thing is, so we are going to start analysis of resistive networks. So far we have seen only the basics of first unit. That is all the definitions of current, voltage, power and energy. But now we are going to look into the other concepts. Also we can call it as basic concepts of Ohm's law, okay, resistance, conductance, and so on. Okay, now let us start with Ohm's law. So Ohm's law is the first law that you encounter in electrical engineering. Well, Ohm's law states that at constant temperature, the voltage is directly proportional to the current through the conductor, as you can see on the screen. Okay, now so that relation can be mathematically given as V directly proportional to I. Therefore, we can write V is equal to I into R, where R is called resistance. That proportionality constant is known as resistance. Okay. Now let us see what is resistance. So this is the mathematical expression as you can see on the screen. So this is the mathematical expression for resistance. So resistance, if you want to say it in words or if you want to define it, resistance is the property of a material which opposes the flow of current through it. That is known as resistance. Okay. So it's a property of the material which opposes the flow of current through the conductor or current through the wire. Okay. So that is called resistance. Here we need to explain each and every term of the expression. So first thing, it is denoted by the letter R. So resistance is always denoted by the letter R. Okay, whenever we are using the term resistance, we are going to use R as the letter. Okay, now, so resistance R is equal to, as you can see, rho L by A. What is rho L by A? Rho means, so here R is resistance and the unit of resistance is ohms. And L is the length of the conductor in meters or sometimes centimeters, it doesn't matter. Okay, next, rho is the resistivity of the material in ohm meter, resistivity or specific resistance, whatever it is. Next, area of cross section is denoted by A. So A is the area of cross section. So these are the terms you need to know in the expression of resistance. Okay, now let us talk about conductance. So conductance means it is just the inverse of resistance. Inverse means, so resistance is a property of a material which opposes the flow of current, but conductance is inverse. That is, conductance is the property of a material which allows the flow of current through it. Okay, so that is called conductance, and current conductance is denoted by the letter G. Okay, always you have to denote conductance with the letter G. You cannot change it. So resistance is denoted by R and conductance is denoted by G. Okay, so Mathematically speaking, G is equal to 1 by R. So G is equal to 1 by R. So G is the inverse of resistance, as you can see on the screen. And the unit of conductance is mho. Mho means it is the inverse symbol of omega. So mho, or you can express in Siemens. Okay. Now let us talk about the other. Now let us talk about the other important law that you will encounter in electrical engineering, that is Kirchhoff's voltage law, simply called as KVL. Okay. So Kirchhoff's voltage law states that the algebraic sum of voltage rises and drops in a loop is equal to 0. Okay. So first you need to understand what is a loop here. Okay, so loop means closed path, nothing but a closed path. As you can see, it is denoted by a green arrow mark. So this is a loop. These all elements are connected together to form a loop. Okay, loop means nothing but a circuit, or you can call it as a closed path. Okay, now what we will be doing is we are going to write the expression for Kirchhoff's voltage law. So if you remember the statements, you can easily write the equation. So the sum of voltage rises and voltage drops in a loop equal to 0. Voltage rises are provided by the active elements or sources, and voltage drops are provided by the passive elements, or in this example we can see resistors. Okay. So using Ohm's law, you can write the expression, or you can see here the summation of voltages as sigma n is equal to 1 to n, Vn is equal to, first we will be writing 12. But if you have to understand one thing, if you want to write KVL equation, first you need to decide whether the current is flowing in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. Normally we will take clockwise direction of current. Okay. So here, as you can see here, this current is entering like this. Current is entering minus 12 volt terminal. Therefore, we will write minus 12. Next, it is entering 10 ohm resistor. So you have to remember one thing, whenever current is entering passive element, that entering terminal has to be taken as positive and the leaving terminal has to be taken as negative for passive elements. But for active elements, the polarities are already given. You don't have to assume. But for passive elements, you have to assume that when the current is entering the resistor, you have to take it as positive, or when the current is leaving the passive element, you have to take negative. So this convention is known as passive sign convention. Okay. So remember passive sign convention, whenever current is entering passive element, you have to take it as positive at the entering terminal. And if it is leaving, you have to take the leaving terminal as negative terminal for passive elements. So this convention is known as passive sign convention. So this convention is so important. If you miss this point, you are going to get wrong answers while you are doing problems. Okay. So remember this point. So next, what we will do is, as you can see, current is entering here. Current is entering here. We are taking positive, and current is leaving here. We are taking negative. So we have to take similar action on all the resistors. But for sources, polarities are already given. You don't have to assume. Okay, polarities will be given. There should be a polarity. So you don't have to change the polarity for active elements. Already given polarities must be taken. Okay. Therefore, so if you want to write KVL equation, current is entering minus 12 volts. Therefore, minus 12 plus voltage across 10 ohm resistor. Let us take it as V1. Okay, and the sign is positive, therefore plus V1, next plus V2, next current is entering minus negative terminal or negative terminal of 6 volt, therefore minus 6 plus V3 plus V4, and the all the elements are covered, no, therefore equal to 0. So that is how you have to write the equation for KVL. So KVL is so important that if you do not understand this KVL concept, it is so difficult for you to understand the remaining coming concepts. Okay, you just remember passive sign convention, and the sum of voltage rises in and voltage drops in a loop is equal to 0. So that is KVL. Next we will be looking into KCL, Kirchhoff's current law. This is also a very important law that you will come across in electrical engineering. Okay, so here KCL states that the algebraic sum of currents, okay, the algebraic sum of currents entering at a node is equal to 0. So here, if you take a node here, if you take a node, this is a node, some branches are connected to a node. As you can see, some 5 branches are connected to a node. In all these branches, some of the currents are entering and some of the currents are leaving. By looking into the direction of current, you can say whether it is entering the node or leaving the node. Just like passive sign convention in KVL, in KCL, what you have to do is, if the current is entering the node, then you have to take it as negative. And if the current is leaving the node, then you have to take that current as positive. Okay. So the algebraic sum of currents entering a node is equal to 0. Now let us write the equation. As you can see here, I1 current is entering. Therefore, you have to write I1. And remember one more thing, one point also. Suppose if you take entering current positive, you have to take leaving current negative, and you can take vice versa also. Vice versa means you can take entering current positive, leaving current negative, or entering current negative or leaving current positive. But you can follow any one method, that is enough. No need to follow both the methods for the same problem. You can follow only one method. So here in this example, what we have done is we have taken entering current positive. Here also I2 is entering, so plus I2 plus I1 plus I3, and remaining two currents are leaving, no, therefore you have to take plus of minus I4 and plus of minus I5. So if these currents are entering, these currents are leaving, then you can say I1, I2, I3 are entering with positive sign, and I4 and I5 are entering with negative sign. Okay, you can say it as leaving currents I4 and I5, or you can say it as entering with negative sign. Like that you can say. Therefore, expression can be written like this: I1 plus I2 plus I3 minus I4 minus I5 is equal to 0. So that is called Kirchhoff's current law. And this law is also very helpful while we are doing problems. Okay. So remember Ohm's law, KVL and KCL. Next, we will be looking into mesh analysis. Mesh analysis means, first you need to understand what is a mesh. Mesh is nothing but a loop. Loop means closed path. So mesh is also a closed path. So mesh means, suppose if you take a loop, for example, if you take this loop, you have only one loop here, so you can call it as a mesh. But when you take this example, you have three loops that are in this example. You can see here, so this is a closed path, so you can call it as a loop. This is a closed path, you can call it as a loop. and there is one overall closed path, you can also call it as a loop. But there are only two meshes here. So mesh means, so by definition, mesh means it is a loop without inner loops. It is a loop without inner loop. So mesh is a loop but without inner loops in it. For example, if you take this loop as number 1, this as number 2, and this as number 3, here you can see 1 and 2 are called as meshes as well as loops. You can also call mesh as a loop. There is no problem. But if you look into the third loop, you can find two inner loops in it. Okay, there are two inner loops present in third loop. Therefore, you can only call it as a loop, but you cannot call it as a mesh. Okay, so that is the difference between mesh and a loop. So in order to do mesh analysis, first we need to understand what is a mesh. So as I told you, mesh is a loop but with no inner loops in it, and loop is a closed path. So you can call every mesh as a loop, there is no problem. You can call every mesh as a loop, but you cannot call every loop as a mesh. That you need to remember. Next, if you want to apply mesh analysis, these are the steps. First one, first you need to identify number of meshes in the given circuit diagram. After that, you have to assign mesh current for each mesh. Suppose if you are having 4 meshes, you have to assign 4 currents. Suppose if you are having 2 meshes, you have to assign 2 mesh currents. Like that, first you need to understand or identify the number of loops or particularly meshes. Okay, and for each mesh you have to assign one mesh current. So after assigning mesh current, you have to apply kvl at each mesh. For example, if you are applying kvl in mesh 1, suppose if there are 2 meshes in that problem, suppose if you are applying mesh equation, sorry, kvl equation at mesh 1, then you have to assume that that mesh current is greater than all other mesh currents at that point of application. Okay, suppose if you are applying kvl at mesh 2, then you have to assume that current I2 is greater than all other currents. Like that, you have to assume and write the kvl equation in each mesh. So after writing all the mesh equations, then we have to solve the equations, then we will get all the mesh currents. So that is the process of applying mesh analysis for a circuit. For example, if I take this example as a problem, suppose if I want to first understand this, first I need to identify number of meshes. As you can see, as I already told you, you have 2 meshes in this problem. So 2 meshes means 2 currents are assigned. Here you can say I1 and I2. So I1 is a current and I2 is a current that are assigned for each mesh. After that, what you have to do is you have to apply KVL in each mesh. Okay, so that I will tell you here. So here you can see, suppose let us apply KVL in mesh 1. This is mesh 1. So if you want to apply KVL here, you have already assigned mesh current I1 for loop 1. Therefore, if current starts flowing like this, so first it will leave the battery, or you can say source, then it will enter resistance R1, and then it will enter resistance R2, and then again it will come to negative terminal. But here you can see this I1 current is in this direction, but and this branch is not only intended for only I1, it is also intended for I2. And if you see the direction of I2, it is opposite to I1. So this is I2 current, Okay, and this is I1 current. So this is I1 current, and the current flowing through the branch R2 is resultant current. Resultant current is, suppose if I1 is 10 amperes and I2 is 2 amperes, resultant current is, they are opposite direction, no? So you have to subtract each value. So 10 minus 2, that will become 8 amperes in the direction of I1. Suppose if you are applying KVL in loop 2, okay, that I will tell you while we are applying the mesh equations. First, let me write the equation first for first loop. So this is the equation. So minus 28, next minus 28 plus 4 into I1. 4 into I1 is the voltage drop. Here we are applying KVL as well as Ohm's law. Okay. So instead of taking separate voltage as V1, V2 like that, we are directly applying KVL and Ohm's law at a time. So the voltage drop across 4 ohm resistor is current into resistance. Current is I1, resistance is 4. That is given in the problem. Therefore, minus 28 plus 4I1, because you have to remember passive sign convention, and current is entering a passive element, you have to take positive. Therefore, plus 4I1, and here current is entering, I1 current is entering at R2. Therefore, you have to take plus, and here minus. Therefore, plus voltage drop across 2 ohm resistor. That is again Ohm's law. Current into resistance. Current is resultant current. I1 minus I2, and resistance is 2. Why we are writing I1 minus I2 instead of I2 minus I1? Because we have an assumption that whenever we are applying KVL at loop 1, then we have to assume that I1 is greater than all other mesh currents. Therefore, the resultant current will be I1 minus I2. Therefore, this is how we will get the equation. So let us take this as equation using equation 1. Next, at loop 2. Now let us take the problem again. What we are doing is, now we are going to apply mesh analysis or KVL at loop 2. Whenever current is entering this positive terminal, then you have to write voltage drop across R2 is current into resistance. Resistance is 2 and current is I2 minus I1, because we are applying KVL for mesh 2. I2 minus I1. So 2 into I2 minus I1 plus, then the current will enter here, therefore plus 1 into I2, and here the current is entering the positive terminal of the source, therefore plus 7 is equal to 0. So that is how you have to write mesh equation or KVL. Next, after solving equation 1 and 2, we will get the answer. For mesh current I1 is 5 amperes and mesh current I2 is 1 ampere. Next, now let us take a little bit difficult problem. Here we are taking, what we are doing is, we are taking a dependent source here. We are taking a dependent source. Now let us start the problem. You have to find the value of I naught here. So that is the goal. Now applying KVL for loop 1. So it is minus 24 because I1 current is entering here, minus 24 plus 10 into I1 minus I2. So here you can see 10 into I1 minus I2, because I1 is greater than I2 and I3, and the voltage drop across 10 ohm resistor is 10 into I1 minus I2. Like that you have to write. And the third, and current will start flowing here, and it will go to 10 ohm resistor, then 12, then again to 24. Therefore, we have to write voltage drop across 12 ohm resistor as 12 into I1 minus I3. Okay. Now look into the equation to be written. Okay. So that is, let me share the screen so that you can see. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, there you are. It is minus 24. It is minus 24 plus 10 into I1 minus I2 plus 12 into I1 minus I3. In a similar fashion, we can write other equations also. Next step is you have to apply. So let us take that as equation 1. Next step is you have to apply KVL in loop 2. And this is the equation. So let us take the current is entering 10 ohm resistor, therefore 10 into I2 minus I1 plus 24 into I2 and 4 into I2 minus I3 is equal to 0. Let us take that equation as equation 2. Next, we will be looking into application of KVL in loop 3. So this is the equation. Suppose if you are applying KVL in loop 3, so 12 into I3 minus I1 and 4 into I3 minus I2 plus here this is a dependent source and that dependent source is a voltage source. So it is current controlled voltage source because I naught is given here. I naught is given here as a current. So I naught is a current and this is a voltage source. Therefore, you can call it as a current controlled voltage source. Okay. So write that value as it is plus 4 I naught. So now we got three equations. Now we got three equations, but you cannot solve these three equations because the number of unknowns to solve these three equations must be three, but there are four number of unknowns: I1, I2, I3 and extra I naught. Therefore, there are four number of unknowns, but only three equations. Therefore, you cannot solve this equation. So we need additional equation to solve this problem. So that additional equation can be taken from the diagram itself. So as you can see on the diagram, I naught is given here, no, and the direction also given. So and that I naught is flowing through 10 ohm resistor. So the current flowing through 10 ohm resistor will be, so this is I1 current and this is I2 current. Both are flowing in 10 ohm branch but in opposite direction. Therefore, I naught can be written as I naught is equal to I1 minus I2. So that can be taken as fourth equation. Therefore, number of unknowns are 4 and so I1 minus I2 is taken as fourth equation. If you substitute fourth equation in third equation, then we will get equation 5. So instead of I naught, here you can see, so the third equation can be modified as, instead of 4 I naught, we will write 4 into I1 minus I2. Okay, as you can see on equation 5. So after changing the equation 3, then we can take equation 1, equation 2 and equation 5 to solve the problem. So after solving we will get I1 is equal to 2.25 amperes and I2 is equal to 0.75 amperes and I3 is equal to 1.5 amperes, and hence I naught is equal to As we know from equation 4, I1 minus I2. Therefore, the answer is 1.5 amperes. So this is how we can solve any problem using mesh analysis. So if you want to do mesh analysis, you have to remember three main points. First one, identify number of loops and assign mesh currents. Second one, apply KVL for each mesh. And third one is applying Ohm's law. So after doing all these three steps, then we will get the equations. After getting the equations, then we can solve to get the answer. Okay. So I hope you understand about all of this is all about mesh analysis. We will take a special case of mesh analysis in next video or so. Okay. And I hope you understand this concept. And we will be completing this concept for today. And in next video, I'm going to tell you nodal analysis. Okay. Thank you.